Have you ever been excited about a first date only for it to end in complete disaster? You might have thought everything was going well until you started acting distant, canceling plans, or simply ghosting you afterward. But what if the problem started before the date even happened? The truth is, many women unknowingly make small mistakes before a first date that can completely change the way a man perceives you or perceives them. First dates are about making an impression, and that impression begins long before you even sit across that table from each other. So today, we're going to break down the 7 things you should absolutely avoid doing before a first date if you want to set the stage for an amazing experience. By the end of this deep dive, you will know what turns men off before they even meet you in person, how to maintain excitement and attraction before a first date, the mistake that makes men lose interest quickly, how to show up to the date feeling confident and in control, how to create the best first impression that makes him want to a second date. Stay with me, because once you know what not to do, you will never have to wonder why your first dates aren't turning into something more. When overtexting leads to no date at all. Lisa had been chatting with Ben for 2 weeks before they agreed to go on a date. In her excitement, she texted him all day, every day, asking him everything from his favorite food to his childhood memories. By the time the date approached, Ben ghosted her. When Lisa asked a mutual friend what happened, Ben said, "I felt like I had already been on the date with her before we even met." Lisa was heartbroken and confused. She thought that staying in constant contact would make him feel closer, but instead it made the actual date unnecessary. The mystery was gone and so was Ben. Let conversation build naturally. Avoid overloading your potential date with too much information before the actual meetup. Have you ever sent a message and instantly regretted it, realizing you should have saved that question for the date? The ex that never loved the child. Amanda was thrilled about her upcoming date with Nick. However, before even met, she casually mentioned her ex in multiple conversations, saying things like, "My ex used to take me to fancy places too. You remind me of my ex, but in a good way." Nick cancelled the date the morning of, saying he wasn't looking for drama. Amanda was stunned. She had no idea that bringing up her ex so casually would be a deal breaker. From her perspective, she was just making conversation. But to Nick, it felt like he was competing with someone from Amanda's past before the date even happened. Even if you are completely over your ex, bringing them up before a first date makes you look emotionally unavailable. Have you ever had a guy constantly compare you to his ex before a date? Annoying, right? Don't do the same thing to him. The social media deep dive gone wrong. Mira was excited to go on a first date with James. Curious about him, she stalked all his social media platforms, scrolling back years on Instagram, checking his Facebook, and even reading his old tweets when they met in person. Mia accidentally brought up a vacation James had taken 2 years ago, something he never told her. James gave her a weird look and asked, "How did you know about that?" The conversation turned upward fast. Mia realized too late that she had absorbed too much information about James before meeting him. Instead of letting him unfold naturally, she had already built a mental image of him that made it difficult to be present in the moment. Doing some light social media research is fine, but deep diving into a person's past makes things weird. Have you ever accidentally liked a photo from 5 years ago while social media talking? Yet, that's when you know it's time to stop. Letting nerves control you before the date. Sometimes the biggest mistake is overthinking and getting too anxious. Jessica was so nervous about her first date with Ryan that she planned out everything in advance: what to say, what jokes to tell, and even topics to bring up if the conversation died. The problem: Ryan didn't follow her script. She got flustered when things didn't go as planned and seemed more confused on sticking to the plan than actually enjoying the date. Ryan later said, "I felt like I was on a job interview instead of a fun night out." Jessica later realized that her need for perfection killed the natural chemistry. She had been so focused on controlling the situation that she forgot to actually enjoy it. Spontaneity is attractive. The best date happens when you go with the flow. Have you ever rehearsed what you were going to say on a date, only for the conversation to take a completely different turn? What do you do before a first date can make or break it? First impression starts long before you sit down together. Things you do or don't do before a first date can set the tone for how he sees you, how the date goes, and whether or not he's excited to see you again. Let's recap the 7 things you should not do before a first date. Overtexting or sharing too much too soon. Talking about your ex before you've even met. Stalking his social media and prejudging him. Letting anxiety take over and overthinking the date. Asking too many personal or heavy questions before meeting. Trying to test him before the date even happens. Acting too available or desperate for the date to happen. A first date is about connection, attraction, and enjoying the moment. So set yourself up for success by avoiding these common mistakes and showing up as the best, most confident version of yourself. Comment below. Have you ever made one of these mistakes before a first date? What happened? Let's talk about it.